I'm Morgan from Billet BMX, Art here from Race Inc BMX Bikes here, and today we are collaborating with a special build for Cypress Hill. More importantly, the tour manager, Trace Nunes. And we are excited. We've got Bobo, we've got B Real joining us on rides out there, which is really, really cool.
BilletBMX.com.
This video is sponsored by Deez Nuts.
When you and I are collaborating right now, it's fun because it's gonna put everything that Cypress Hill is all about, what they sing about, what they enjoy, now enjoying the bike life. We're gonna put it all together. We're gonna collaborate here, and we could talk about the build as we go on a little bit. We're gonna build it, start off with the RA29R, which is in stock right now. This is truly custom from every bolt, every crank, every piece, all of it is. And right now, we're gonna get started with this build. I wanted to mention to Morgan that with Cypress Hill and the scene that they're in, there's a lot of cool products that he has that'll actually enhance the build of this. And you can talk about that right now if you'd like.
Yeah, so we got a lot of special products. I can actually show a few. So a lot of the Cypress Hill t-shirts and album art has a lot of skulls on it. So we're gonna go with this really cool skull stem on there.
This is unreal. So the machine, workmanship, all this, the design is next level here. And when you see etching like that and all the branding, Morgan, you've done a fantastic job with marketing this and making it stand out. I love that. And here you've got the pedals here.
Yeah, so here's the collector's box that comes in, and we got red and blue, kind of like a patriotic theme, but as you can see, the Race Inc is red, and we got, the blue sticker set, blue brakes, so we got some red and blue theme with a little bit of chrome mixed in, so
that's fantastic.
These pedals will match really good.
And you could change these shields out, right?
Yeah, I have a skull one, different colors. We also do like full chrome and stuff like that.
Bitchin', let's experiment with those too, and at the end we could, agree to move forward with one or the other design. I like that.
And of course, we got the special racing chain tensioners that are specifically designed for the 20 millimeter dropout that drops down to a 3/8 or a 10 millimeter axle. So we're going to be also installing these today.
Yeah, Morgan was the first one to step up and collaborate with Race Incorporated. He saw the tremendous response we were getting and a lot of the bikes out there. And one of the challenges are that this was actually made for 20 millimeter hubs too. So if you want to step it up to the next level, you could upgrade. We have Cook Brother hubs coming out soon, and it simply just bolts right up. But for the normal individual out there, they're used to 3/8 or 10 millimeter axles. So what Morgan has done, he's taken upon himself to create a chain tensioner that will adapt the 10 millimeter to the 20 millimeter dropout that makes it seamless. So I'm excited to get that. But not only that, if we want to carry on to the theme with the Cypress Hill lifestyle, you have something unique for them.
Yeah, so on all of our chain tensioners, like on here, they have a little shield that moves back and forth to a number, and we actually have a weed leaf version of it too. So we're going to be removing the regular shield and putting the weed leaves to match the Cypress Hill. I remember back in high school they had a song, Dr. Green Thumb and Sand and Membrane. I used to listen to all that stuff and ride BMX, and now working on a bike here with art for them. So that's a pretty cool thing. For me, personally. So.
Just off topic right now, they actually have a podcast called Dr. Green.
Oh, there you go.
I hope I didn't get that wrong, guys, there, but you could actually, they get together every Tuesday night, and it's down in LA, and possibly on Tuesday I might go visit that, and if he doesn't come and pick up a bike, then he's going to get it delivered. So I'm excited about that. So if you guys are Cypress Hill fans, that's a place to catch up with everything they've got going on as far as tours, music, and appearances too. We've got one other thing, right? So we're putting a stem on here. We're going to go through an assembly part here. In order to put the wheels on, Morgan has also stepped it up with something that's pretty unique. In fact, he has actually come up with a tool to help get on.
So I have a special billet wrench very lightweight. One side says Billet BMX, other side is Deez nuts. One side's 15 millimeter, which is the most popular size for axle nuts to, take them on and off. The other side's 17 millimeter. And then this wrench not only works with 6-point, which are normally regular nuts, it works with our custom 12-point nuts, which we call Deez nuts, which are right here.
Deez
You
nuts.
can see it in the camera, but we're going to be putting these on too. So these are custom billet nuts, and we make these in 12 colors. Very popular item, but we're going to also put this on the bike to dress it up.
Tell me a little bit about your nuts. You actually incorporated a washer on the bottom, right?
Yeah, so it has a incorporated washer, and there's a little flange that it sits on. It's 12-point, looks really pretty. But the other reason of doing this is if you have 6-point aluminum nuts, they get scratched. Obviously, we don't want to scratch our nuts, so I made them 12-point. It looks really cool, but the little grooves, the teeth of the wrench go in, and it doesn't scratch or remove the anodizing off them. So it looks really cool, but it's also functional, and that's why I came out with them, because I was tired of scratching my 6-point aluminum nuts, and obviously we want to match all our colors on our bikes, like the red and blue we're going with on this Race Inc today.
Who would have known that you would create a tool so you wouldn't have to scratch your nuts?
Yeah.
I love that idea. It's going to fit perfectly on it. And you can see how we're color coordinating with the red, white, and blue theme here, which Trace threw me a curveball last week and said, hey, Art, I think I'm going to go blue and red. Let's mix it up. I'll let you make the call. We're doing it right now. So we've got about an hour or so to finalize this project, and we're going to get to work right now.
All right, so we're going to install the chain tensioners. And they come with these stainless adapters right here. And there's also a notch. So the notch actually faces towards the back of the bike because on the chain tensioner is an internal bolt, and it's clearance to sit right there. So if you use a regular position, you're fine. But you can actually use this position if your wheels move to the front of the bike or your chain's a little too short. So that's why that is notched for that reason. So we'll be taking these, and you put the spacer on each side of the axle, like so. And then just chain on there. And then what you want to do is, here's the trick. You want to get one, you got to stretch the frame a little bit to get it in, but you want to do one side first. Getcha?
That's all right. So half installed it.
All right, so once you get it in, you got to flex the frame a little bit to get it in. But once you get it in, I'll get a closer up. You can see that spacer is in there, and the notch is towards the back. See it right there, and there it is on that side. So that's probably the hardest part of installing these, because you got to stretch the frame just a little bit to get it in. But you can see it's pretty easy. But again, the trick is you do one side first, and then you do the other. If you try to do both, you're gonna have to stretch the frame for the clearance of both, and it's about a 5 millimeter thickness. So you just stretch the frame about 10 millimeters. Or if you do one side first, it's only 5 mil, which is not that big of a deal. So cool. So we got all that on there. Next step is, and the chain is on the sprocket, and make sure it is also on your freewheel there, which it is. So now we want to put on the tensioner. We're going to use the main hole here. And it's going to go just like that. We're going to pull it back a little bit, as so. And then we're going to put our Billet BMX billet axle nuts. So on all these axle nuts, they are billet aluminum. So you want to hand tighten them on so you don't damage the threads. There are a lot of different thread and axle sizes in BMX, and I believe we have 6 sizes now and 12 colors for all of them. But you do want to hand tighten these on. If it stops when you're hand tightening it, unfortunately you have the wrong size doing that. So just do it by hand, real soft. And my recommendation is not even do it all the way tight, and do it snug and then back it off. That way the tensioner is still floating a little bit. We put those on there, and then later we're gonna adjust the tensioners right now, and later we're gonna lock down the nut with our Billet BMX Wrench. Let me get the other side on. There is a left and a right, and there's a left and right because the logos are set a certain way. So if you put the right on the left and the left on the right, it will work, but the logos would be upside down. We're all set. Check that out, how cool that looks. Looks real proportionate on the Race Inc dropout. They have a really large dropout. We're now going to take the Allen key out of the bag that comes with the Billet BMX chain tensioners, and you're going to stick it inside. And you actually turn counterclockwise to tighten the chain tensioner. So that's what I am doing now. You stick it in the hole, and you're going to see that shield is starting to move. You can see the shield is moving down the numbers because we are tightening that chain there, and you're going to see that chain is tightening up, taking all the slack out. So you just take your time. I think. So it's right on kind of number 3 right there. So now I'm taking the key and going to the opposite side. This is the left side of the bike, the non-drive side. And oh, this nut got tight in your finger. Hold on. Loosen it up. Sometimes you do have to kind of go back and forth. But again, counterclockwise on this tightens. I know that's reverse normally when you're installing stuff, but because it's an internal bolt, that's how these work. So counterclockwise actually tightens it, and if you read the instructions, it does mention that. So now I'm pulling the other side to try to make the axle straight. And we're gonna try to get that also to the number 3, which I'm on right now. And I'm gonna check the chain, and it's a little tight. So when you pull one side, when you start pulling the other side, it can make the chain a little tighter. So Art was right. Hey, make it a little looser. So he was spot on on that. So I'm gonna loosen the drive side a little bit, because you want to balance it out, and you don't want to overly tighten the frame too far. So I'm going clockwise to loosen it a little bit. I think that's good. So now we're going to lock down with the Billet BMX Wrench. This is aluminum, great tool, lightweight, great to throw in your backpack on rideouts. Billet BMX one side again, these nuts on the other.
These nuts.
Since it's aluminum nut, it's aluminum to aluminum, so it helps not scratch your nuts. And again, it works on our 12-point, and it also works on 6-point nuts, like your stock nut would be. And on these axle nuts, a lot of people over tighten them. You just need them pretty snug. You don't need to try to kill them. It's not a, car lug nut. So you want to be careful. So, I'm 230 pounds, and if I put my muscle into this, you can strip them if you crank them down way over tighten them. So just be careful on that. It is aluminum. And again, got our wrench. I'm gonna tighten this up. That's about good. You don't need, again, to kill those nuts. They'll stay on. Chain's tight. What do you think?
Oh, looking good.
Just cool. We're styling the Billet BMX, but we're not done. Since this is Cypress Hill, I'm gonna take this shield off, and we're gonna go with the weed leaf. And then Art, you were thinking to go with the green.
Yeah, you mentioned it in when we were chatting. Darker green thumb, right? So leaves are green.
So we got everything locked down and tight, and you can see the weed chain tensioner. So we're gonna take this shield off and put it on this shield, and take the blue shield off. So our chain tensioner kits do come with a smaller little Allen key here, and there's a little screw on the top and a little screw right here in the bottom. And that simple comes off. See, it's same as our regular shield, but has a weed leaf, Dr. Green Thumb right there. All right, so now let's take off the blue shield. This is something I did, just extra customization to make your bike your own. Everyone's into different stuff, like Cypress Hill. and their song Dr. Green Thumb. So there you go. Billet BMX. Now we got a weed leaf on there. I think the guys over at Cypress Hill will really enjoy this amount of little details right here. And we're gonna tighten the bottom up. So there we go. And that weed shield still points to the number, so it's functional. And let me zoom in on it a little bit. There you go, look at that. Billet BMX. All right, so we got Art, and he's gonna be putting on the Deez nuts on the front.
Deez nuts.
I am blown away at the craftsmanship involved in this. Let's make sure. All right. So that's pretty easy and smooth. Thank you. That came out pretty good. And to do it just the washer there, we've got the wrench. That's pretty easy, dude. I really like this. Those notches make it really easy. Non-slip.
Yeah, a lot of the 6-point, you have a regular open wrench, you can slip off. Like this, you're locked on.
Yes.
You're not going nowhere.
Fantastic.
And check that out. That blue anodized matching the blue hoops. Got back to the red hubs. Red forks with the blue. Killer setup right there.
Let's get that stem on.
Want to do that stem next? Okay.
I'm excited about that stem to see what we've got going on.
Perfect.
With that. So let's go ahead and loosen this up.
All right, so Art is removing the stem cap. Should you just remove the bars?
Normally not the way I do it, but we're gonna upgrade this stem.
Just taking the stem cap off.
It's always nice to have the right tools to do the job. Now all I need is your stem, and we could upgrade this. Let's get mine on there.
Feel that rip, Stacy?
Ah, you have it over there? Ah. You have the tool? Look at some tape.
All right, so we got the stem on, and Art is going to put on the stem cap.
Yeah, so we pretty impressed with the machining. I mean, the tolerances here are pretty tight, so that ensures a nice, safe fit, so you don't have any loose movement when you're driving, riding, doing wheelies, doing that kind of stuff. So, wow, pretty impressed on that. And then yeah, of course.
He's got the top cap tight, so that pulls the fork up, and now he's cinching the 2 back bolts to lock it on to the forks on the fork steer tube. There we go. All right, cool as that. Look at that. Skull stem, Billet BMX. And he's taking off the top cap. You can see these bolts are reversed. That way we can get that full face of the skull. When I designed this, I wanted a piece of art, something that's full billet, you know, more of a show piece. The stem's one of a kind. I don't think anyone has anything close to this in the whole market. So, and then all the bolts here are stainless steel. It does say Billet BMX with this really cool side pocket that's engraved, and also says Billet BMX on the back. But check that out. You can actually see the engraving marks right there on that skull cap. And it is hollowed out in the middle to drop some of the weight because it is a larger stem. So we do try to keep it as light as possible, but also this stem is a statement for something really cool and really unique. All right, so Art put the handlebar in, we've got it centered, and then we're gonna put the skull stem cap back on, and then Art's gonna feed the bolts in from the bottom.
What made you think of this upside down?
Well,
Just don't like the bolts?
If I did the bolts, I think it's convenient to have it on top, obviously, if you want to adjust it.
Right.
It's a little harder underneath, but if I had the bolts, there'd be 4 bolts in the skull face. It wouldn't obviously look as cool. So The thing was, my goal is to get the most real estate up top and hide the bolts so I can do, you know, some cool artwork and designs on all my stems are actually reverse mount. So,
you know, that you're a car guy as I am, and anytime you install a wheel, I always do the, you know, opposite bolt. So I'm in the back.
Yeah.
In the habit of doing that when
yeah, when you torque it, you're supposed to go in an X pattern on pretty much everything. So pulls that cap down evenly. That way the front's not pulled down or one corner or one side. So you want to bring down that part and torque it evenly. So in a crisscross pattern. So that is the correct way to do it.
That's solid. I bet.
And you can check the bars, they're not moving. And there we go. Let's get a cool picture now with the bars in it. Check that out, Billet BMX skull.
Man, that really sets it off between the little, you know, the skull, the pot leaf. You got your chain tenders on there. That actually does really looks cool. These nuts.
Deez
when you
nuts.
tear them up and everything, you guys, you've done some pretty cool stuff here.
Yeah.
You know, I like the fact that we're featuring the part that we're featuring Cook Brothers components on here. I'll go ahead and dive into what makes this bike a little bit unique. So if we'll start off with the brakes. Cook Brothers brakes. Stop on a dime right there. So we've got the brakes, the brake levers also to match.
Put the blue and a silver.
Yeah.
Matches the blue and silver Cook Brothers brakes. And then what's really cool
Our new cranks.
is the new cranks. And
You can also peek in between. We have our own bottom bracket here, and it says Cook Brothers Racing Anaheim. So we're based in Anaheim. That's what it says on there.
check those cranks out, and it does say Cook Brothers Racing. So that's a beautiful crank, and the chrome job on those cranks is amazing. Very high quality compared to some of the other stuff where you don't get the best chrome.
That's a pet peeve of mine, being a car guy. Anytime we did some lowrider bikes, you always wanted that triple chrome on there. When I built my chopper, I also wanted triple chrome on there, so that was a pet peeve of mine, so it had to be perfect. The handlebars are the same thing. They're Cook Brother handlebars there. You'll notice that there's some etching on it also.
Okay, so that's it. The little engraving.
Yeah, these are
chromoly.
Those are chromoly.
Chromoly 10-inch, and then I was at Dirty Fest with you, and that's a really good deal. What was the price on that?
$69.99. Yeah.
For chrome, and I was telling them, hey, a lot of chrome bars are well over the $100 mark. So for being $70, and again, just like the cranks, the chrome on this is very nice. The welds, very quality bar for that price range compared to everything else out there. Usually you get the cheaper bars and the welds or chrome isn't as good. There's bars that don't even look this nice selling for $200. So that's an awesome price, Art.
Look at that etching right there. Hey guys, this is something that's simply missed in a lot of builds here. You always want to grease everything. So we do have some nice grease here. This makes for a nice, the pedals won't seize up or anything when you need to remove them. So we go ahead and grease everything.
And then the end of the spindle, it is marked right or left. The drive side is right side. So that is going to be tightened regular clockwise. The other side is left thread, is reverse thread, and you tighten it turning it counterclockwise. So most bike guys know that, but there is a left and right pedal.
And I do get calls, that's funny. Hey, it's not going on, try the other side.
So he's doing the other side. So you can see that is, if you're on that side, it would reverse. He's turning it counterclockwise to tighten that pedal. So he's taking a 15 millimeter wrench, unless you got a pedal wrench. So he's got the real deal.
Oh,
that's huge.
That's what she said. I don't torque down too much. Go.
All right, so we got the Cook Brothers cranks. Here's that pedal and spin right there. So very cool. It's got Billet BMX and all the teeth engraved. Super detailed, one of the most detailed pedals on the BMX market there. So what do you guys think? Almost complete, and we're gonna change out a couple of other parts on this bike with Art, including gonna do the seat post.
Yeah, let's do.
Okay. All All right, Art just removed seat post, and we're throwing in blue one. So that way it goes from the kind of the red frame black to the blue. I think that looks pretty trick. Shoot. Dimmed in hinges. So it has 2 bolts and has a piece underneath and top that clamps the seat rails. It's a nice design. And that's all aluminum on that, right?
Yeah,
Is that 6061 or 7075 or?
it is 6061.
These are a little tricky to do. You gotta hold like multiple things and try to screw them bolts down. All right, Art, so we're pretty much all finished up. You got the seat on there with the blue seat post. The box 2 seat post looks really good. What do you think, Art?
Honestly, this bike really, every little detail says something on here. We couldn't have done a better job collaborating. This is a custom build, but you could buy one online right now. I believe they're $6.99, and then a little bit of shipping depending on where you are. But thank you, Morgan, for coming down. Trace is gonna be so stoked when he sees this. The guys, Be Real, Bobo, they're gonna be jealous of him. But I tell you what, if it wasn't for Trace doing what he does, keeping those guys on track, doing all that, I got a little bit of a background of what goes on tours and stuff like that. You know what? I think they're gonna be super stoked for you. And I am happy to have this build and present it to you, and I hope we get to meet up on Tuesday. Morgan is more than happy to come tag along too, and we'll get you riding soon. And I'm gonna go on a ride out with you too, and you guys, and I look forward to it. So until then, guys, enjoy the ride. All right?
All right, see you later. What do you think, Art?
Such a comfortable ride.
All right, so we got the Race Inc all finished up. This thing outside is super awesome, super bright in the sunlight, all the parts. So Art's gonna go over everything on the build here that we did today.
Well, let's start off. Can't ignore that it is a Race Inc frame, the RA29. And what we did is a custom build, a collaboration between Billet BMX and Race Incorporated, along with some Cook Brother parts on here too. I'll quickly touch on what we've got going on here. We'll go ahead and highlight the front end, and we'll work towards the back. So here we'll start with these nuts. If you notice, we've got a color combination going on here. So it's coupled up with a Race Incorporated custom wheel set, blue hoops, red hub. Then you move up a little bit. Then you move into the Cook Brothers headset, which wraps it really well together. The Billet BMX skull stem there. How cool is that? Again, going with the color theme that we've got going on. Let's move up to the handlebars. Cook Brother handlebars. Those things retail for $69, and it's pretty much show chrome. Got some light laser etching on there that lets everybody know that those are pretty high-end handlebars. You move up to the drive brake side of it. Cook Brother Racing brakes there, coupled up with box 1 grips. We went ahead and went with the theme, so you see the lock rings, different colors here, integrated into the brake. That's really unique feature that Boxes came up with, so we like that feature a lot. Moving on a little bit more towards the middle of the bike, so Racing seat post, box 2 seat, Racing seat, box 2 seat post, Racing clamp there. You move a little further back, Cook Brother V-brakes. A lot of people don't know this, but we have titanium parts on there, so it makes it lighter if that really matters so much. But we also went with the color scheme.
Yeah, you did the red brake pads, but obviously got the blue arms. So again, keeping that red, blue, red.
That thing going. Let's move down to the back. Again, we've got the Race Inc custom hoops. But here's the cool thing. So Billet BMX has come up with a 20 millimeter chain tensioner that's unique to our Race Inc frames here. It fits in nicely. This was really an easy installation, coupled up with these nuts on the back. Different sizes of nuts he does carry. So if you guys want something really cool and it's an upgrade that's not really expensive, I say go ahead and look them up online, billetbmx.com. And then we move on to the absolute coolest piece that I like. Well, we'll start in the back. Cook Brother Racing bottom bracket bearings down here, coupled up with the Cook Brother Racing chain ring, and then our all-new Cook Brother Racing crank. So that old dog bone style that came back from the late 70s, early 80s, that's back in play right now. Again, we've got that nice chrome show car chrome, really is what you got. And then to top it off, we've got the Billet
BMX Pedals.
Hey, thank you for the collaboration, Morgan. Yeah, I know you and I talk a lot here. This collaboration means a lot to me. I tell you, when the guys from Cypress Hill see it, they're going to go nuts on it. And I tell you what, you're going to get more phone calls on this stuff too. So again, until next time, you guys enjoy the ride.
billetbmx.com